Hello, Bill.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon.
Hey, Bill.
Good morning.
Jonesboro Rotary, welcome. Hope everybody's doing well. Does anybody know what today is?
24th
Besides Thursday. Good, Morris, thank you. I'm glad you're still keeping up with dates in your retirement.
It's hard. I have to force myself to do that.
But I heard a couple folks blurted out today is World Polio Today, and of course that is something that's very important to us as Rotarians. Before we get started, I just wanted to go through a couple quick stats about polio and Rotary's involvement just to refresh everybody's memory. And I would encourage you today, if you have some time, take a look at the, I believe it's npolio.org, that on the Rotary site. Got some great information, has a timeline about Rotary's involvement throughout the near eradication of the disease. And it's a really informative site. The cost per child to vaccinate is about $3 per child to successfully vaccinate against polio. In 2017, 430 million children in 39 countries were successfully vaccinated against polio. Since Rotary has been involved with Polio Plus, or since we've launched Polio Plus in 1985, does anybody have a guess on how much money has been contributed by Rotary towards stopping polio?
$2 billion.
Since 1985. That's very good, Morris. Did you say
$360 million.
Did you say $2 billion?
I did.
Morris is very close. It's $1.7 billion and countless hours of volunteer service. And that has led to the vaccination of 2.5 billion children in 122 countries. So that's huge. I think our goal, as we think about polio, I know people in my generation probably aren't as familiar about the horrors of polio. I know I've heard my dad talk about some friends he had growing up that were afflicted by it, some that died, some that were, crippled for the rest of their lives. So I have a little bit of an idea, but I think I've grown up in a world where it really hasn't been in the forefront here, especially in our country. But in many countries, that's not the reality. They were subject to this in their daily lives, and some countries still are. And in many of those countries, it's hard to reach countries that the United States might not have a great relationship in. So the struggles continue to reach the last few, but as Rotarians, we need to continue to strive. And I think we have reason to be proud of what we've done, but pride can't lead to complacency. So we need to continue to make sure folks are aware of polio, and we rejoice and we look forward to the day where it's completely wiped out. So I would just encourage you all to check out the site. Also, Bill and Melinda Gates have pledged, or have been pledging. Every dollar raised, they're donating $2 from the Gates Foundation. So that's obviously very significant. So just wanted to add that in before we get started. Mr. Sergeant at Arms, I've caught you in the middle of your soup, but if you can.
You want me to pray?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Larry. I definitely don't want to skip over
I
Larry.
want to pray.
Larry's been working on this. Please, Larry, invocation, sir.
Yeah, the Rotary prayer, open our eyes that we may see, open our ears that we may hear, touch our hearts that we may love, clear our minds that we may think, strengthen our hands that we may work. I'd like to add another one, open our mouths so that we can have Debbie's soup. Amen.
And more about that a little bit later on for Debbie's soup. So thank you, Larry. Sorry, I didn't mean to skip over you. All right, Michael?
Thank you. Appreciate everyone being here today. We do have quite a few announcements. I turn it over to David for introductions.
Well, you go ahead and do the, I'll do that after.
Okay, any announcements before the close?
Should I do the foundation? You want me to do the foundation?
Any announcements?
Okay, I just wanted to let you know, of course, the performance is now down at the temple, and it's getting good participation. So it's still got 2 more weeks to go, and so if you have not seen it, it's got a lot of music to it, and I think that's exactly what Hokie Carmichael wanted. In order to present this and try to get it on its way to Broadway. Anyhow, I wanted to let you know if there's any jazz fans in here, that on November the 9th, they're having Swinging High with Big Band Jazz over at the Temple. And if you're interested, you can call the theater box office or go in and get your tickets. Because it's $20 for general admission, $15 for students, or $10 for students and $15 for society members or military. And that's a good price for, and there's 2 different groups coming in for that, so it should be good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Couple things. November 3rd at 2 o'clock, we're formally going to dedicate W.B. Wicker, and it's open to the public, so please come. For nothing else, come see the laughter that I have to, as I give speeches and run this whole show. I'm not one for the spotlight. Second thing, next week is Halloween on our meeting day, and we have a special presentation. I'm bringing a funeral home in to talk about pre-need planning and death on Halloween. It's all planned on purpose.
Are we dressing up?
That is my next thing. I was going to say that I would encourage all of us to dress up so we can do some social media and take some pictures and put it out there, and maybe we'll come up with a prize for the best costume. So please dress up next week, and Chad, let's get together and see if we can't come up with a good costume for the 2 of us. Other than that, No Scare Fair is in desperate need of hot dogs and candy. So if you want to donate to No Scare Fair for them, please do. We need a lot of candy and some hot dogs and stuff for the annual No Scare Fair.
Have we made a donation for the door, Patrick, do you know? 'Cause
Donation for what?
we usually sponsor a door.
At the Scare Fair?
Yeah. And Jim's not here, but I think it's in the budget.
I don't know, we'd have to.
It has been in the past. We'll check it out.
Just give the money to Richard. I know,
I'm
but
pretty
you like
well
money.
honored for that. I already sponsored my door, come on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll follow up on that.
Judge, you have an announcement?
This Saturday, if you find yourself lonely and looking for a good time, one of the best bass players in North Carolina, Mr. David Spivey, and I are going to be playing our last Creedence Clearwater cover band show at the Mann Center. And Mike Stick's going to be pouring some of the best beer in North Carolina you can ever have. And, tickets are $10. I think half the proceeds go to the Mann Center for upkeep. So if you're looking for something to do, and you're tired of watching football all the time and chilling at the house, come see us.
What time?
I don't have problems with doing either one of those things.
It's a soft sell.
Thank you for pointing that out.
But yeah, 7 o'clock show starts. We'll probably play about 2 hours. So. Chad, thank you for clarifying. I've heard that opening used other places. Yeah. Well, I want to make sure you were listening.
He perked up.
Took a business class.
Thank you, sir. Larry?
Yeah, just a reminder, the District Foundation meeting in Greensboro at the Corey Center is November 7th, the night of November 7th. David's going, Debbie's going, I'm going, and I think Jim probably will go. Anybody else want to go? It's a really great program. The Rotary brings in speakers. A lot of times it'll be around polio, but not necessarily just polio. But we'll probably have over 700 people there. So if you want to sign up, you have to go to the website individually and sign up. The club pays, so that's a plus. Anybody that wants to go, please let us know, and we'll work out carpooling going on.
Thank you, sir. Any other announcements for the club? All right, how about brags? City brags?
Well, here, let me brag, you get change. We got Mark with us today, and Mark is a supporter of LSU, and of course my Alabama ties. We can't wait for Alabama LSU, and I'm hoping that Tua is back on 2 feet so he can be our quarterback, because there was a pretty good chance that we were going to beat LSU if we had Tua there. Now I'm not sure. Are we going to traditionally do the dollar? We're doing the dollar.
I want to, but because when we beat Alabama, I'm not hearing excuses.
And Mark, welcome. We're glad to have you today. Siler City Rotary Club. And also before we kind of skipped over welcoming our guests, and I think our other guest does probably have an announcement or a brag, but some of y'all may not realize that there is actually another Rotary Club in Sanford.
No, he's transferring.
It's called the
He's
Sanford Rotary
transferring.
Club, and they have a president too.
No
And
kidding.
that is Don Clayton. Don is here with us. They've got a great project. Don kind of ribbed me when I was at their meetings. I had to give them a little bit.
Hey,
back.
man, I
But Don,
appreciate
we love you. We're glad you're here.
Thank
Tell
you.
us about what you guys have going on for.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for having me today. Second of all, David Spivey, I've been getting your emails, and I would like to formally nominate Bill Stone as our next district governor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. But we do have Pints Against Polio. That is coming up tonight at Hugger-Mugger. Bill and I are going to talk about doing something at Camelback coming up in the near future, combined fundraising attempt, maybe for Alzheimer's or something. But Pints Against Polio tonight, you get, for $20, you get a free craft brew plus a bona fide tour of the brewery and a class, a 30-minute class as you're on the tour by Tim Emmert. And that's $20. You can go to eventbrite.com and purchase a ticket, or we'll have tickets available at the door tonight. So appreciate everybody's support for World Polio Day and coming out for that. So
Thanks, Don.
Yep.
That sounds like a great event. Please join them if you can.
What time?
it's from 6 until 9. Classes are at 6, 7, and 8.
Okay. All right. Mike, do we have anything else?
Any other brags?
I want to brag, since I do want to brag on Debbie for putting this together. This is pretty cool. I know it wasn't easy for you to
Just
do.
wait till I get done.
I know it wasn't easy for you to do, but I do want to brag on this because, I mean, Lord knows I've packed many of these meals, and my children have too, and my wife, so it's kind of cool to see the end product and get a little bit of a taste of it. So,
Thank you, sir.
yep.
Good.
I've got a break too. Since my son went to Virginia Tech, my wife and I have both adopted Virginia Tech as our go-to football team, because other than last year, Army's not had such a great period. But that was an awesome game last Saturday night when Virginia Tech beat UNC in 6 overtimes. I knew I'd get a few of those.
Should have done it in one.
Any rebuttals from the what can you say?
No.
Very good.
Okay.
Any brags last night? All right, back to you, Bill.
All right. Thank you, Mike. And now we.
Mark Serene.
Oh, yeah.
South City Rotary wants to make an announcement.
Just going to mention that next Friday is our bazaar. It's our annual fundraiser. 2 opportunities for you. First, I have raffle tickets. There are 3 prizes. First is a really nice 3-burner Weber grill. Second prize is a 50-inch high definition TV. Third prize is a $100 gift certificate. So a raffle ticket gives you a chance at all 3 prizes. It's 5 tickets for $20. And if you're a fan of auctions, we have a really good auction next Friday night at the West Chatham Senior Center, preceded by a barbecue dinner. The auction will have things like sports tickets for Hurricanes, NC State. We have lots of pottery. We have art. We have golf packages. We have a night stay at the Farrington Inn. So, as you know, in auctions there are always some deals that occur. So, if you like auctions, come next Friday night. So, I'll be here afterwards if you want some raffle tickets. Thank you.
Good. Thanks, Mark. Sounds like a great auction with some neat items, unlike ours. That was a joke.
We have a good auction.
Yeah, we have a good auction. It's stuff that nobody wants that we bring up. As y'all know, membership has been a big focus of ours this year, and we are already starting to see some of the fruits of those efforts. So I wanted to call on Assistant District Governor David Spivey for some inductions.
Yeah, we have very good news today. We have 3 brand new members that we're going to induct. So if y'all will come up when I call your name, Weston Coggins. And Weston has actually already joined, but we haven't have our
Yes, sir.
induction. Trey Williams and Frederick Delavo. So first of all, I'm going to give everybody your name badge, and this, keep the name badge in the little box back there on the table after the meeting. And I guess Mike, you will write a number on the back, and then you just remember your number so you don't have to search through all of them when you get here. But I have a Trey, here is your certificate, and Weston, this is yours. And I apologize, but our Jeremy is out of town, so we'll get your certificate to you next week or at the next meeting. And we also have a Rotary pin for each of you. So wear that with pride, and you don't have to wear it just on Thursday. You can wear it every day of the week if you want to. Thank you. And lastly, we have a Rotary t-shirt for everyone. And of course on the back it says Rotarian at Work. So when we do a service project or backpack pals or something, if you can, wear your t-shirt. And yeah, we kind of look like we're in uniforms. Plus it promotes Rotary. And if the size is not correct, we got other sizes. Because I guess Jeremy just guessed at size.
That's fine.
But,
Large.
real briefly, we'll start with Weston. If you'll just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you work, your family, that kind of thing.
Okay. Weston Coggins, live here in Sanford. My wife and I own Pipeworks Plumbing, and we have our first son last year. He's 13 and a half months old now, and that's pretty much my main focus right now. And appreciate the opportunity to be in this club.
Yep. Glad to have you. Welcome.
Trey Williams, born and raised here in Sanford, East Carolina grad, worked for First Bank Insurance here in town. Married Jennifer Odom. We just had a little girl about 2 months ago, so that's pretty much what I'm full with right now as well. But happy to be here, excited to join and hopefully gather some new members as well.
Frédéric Delavo, French, born and raised. I work live in Sanford. My wife is also part of the community. She's working at El Refugio. She was part coordinating the organization of the Festival Latino we had recently. Yeah, thanks a lot for the honor to join your family, and I hope many good things will happen.
All right, well, let's welcome everybody. In the not too distant future, we will have a Rotary orientation program for all our new members and kind of help you learn more about what Rotary does, worldwide. And of course, you're going to learn it eventually, but that will help. That orientation will help. So again, welcome to the club.
Thank you.
And I do have a couple more quick presentations. Debbie, our foundation chair for the club, has recently become a Paul Harris Society member, and we're very proud of you for doing that. I think she is the fourth, maybe the fifth Paul Harris Society member in our club. But basically a Paul Harris Society member is someone who contributes at least $1,000 a year to the Rotary Foundation. And for $85 a month on a credit card,
you too can be a Paul Harris
you can
Society.
be a Paul Harris Society. That's all it takes, $85 a month. So thank you, congratulations, Debbie. And lastly, our former president, Morris McClellan. Morris, while you were on vacation in the mountains celebrating your retirement, the club combined Paul Harris Foundation points, and we made every member a Paul Harris member, Paul Harris Fellow. So here is your certificate, and here is your pin, and congratulations.
Thank you.
And we do have a couple of other new members. My son Greg, my favorite son. And,
Got to record, man.
And Greg also has one of his employees that he's sponsoring there. But next time, Greg's a forester, so he's in the woods a lot. He never really knows the schedule. But the next time, probably on the Tuesday night when we meet at Camelback, we'll get them inducted. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you, David, and welcome Trey, Weston, Frederick. Very excited to have you guys. I think you made the right decision. Hopefully you'll enjoy your time in Rotary and go out there and recruit some other members. I heard Trey mention that when he's up here, but that is part of it. We're looking to get folks out in the community that aren't familiar with what we do, because as you heard before, we're involved in a lot of global things, which are really exciting. So it's a great way to impact not only your community here, but the global community. So welcome everybody. Debbie, congratulations on that honor. Morris as well. Debbie, it's your time. We've got a very special program. If you were wondering about the suit today, Debbie's going to tell you a little bit more about it. And I'll turn it over to our very own Debbie Scott.
Thanks, Bill. So as we've mentioned a couple times, I am the reason that you only had suit. So please do not get mad at Flame, Steve, anything like that. It's all me. If you have anything, you want to throw something at me, wait till after my presentation. Go right ahead. I can handle it. I got big old shoulders. As you saw the presentations for the foundation, we're 100% Paul Harris Club. New members, those that have just joined, this is an amazing club that gives generously to the foundation. And so on the tables, there are mounds and mounds and mounds of thanks to you, this club, for giving that $100 a year as being a sustaining member and going above and beyond. Like we said, we have 4 or 5 of us that are given the $1,000 a year. Because of that money, we can do all of the amazing things that the Rotary Foundation does. Does anybody know what next month is? Foundation Month. Normally my speech was going to be next week, and Patrick and I had kind of one of those moments because it was scheduled November 7th. It was like, we're not going to be here November 7th. So we kind of backed me up, and so I'm doing it 1 week early before November. But November is Foundation Month. So that's why we acknowledge the Rotary Foundation, what we do, and the amazing organization that we are. For all the new Paul Harris Fellows, Morris, anybody else that has gotten that, David Spivey enabled this club to get to the Paul Harris status, and I'm hoping that in the future you'll pay it forward, that you too will down the road help a Rotarian as you continue to give, and you'll have points to make other people. Bill had mentioned about World Polio today, October 24th. When you were here, Yvonne, hopefully, does everybody hold up your pinky? All right, did anybody not get a smiley face? Great job, Yvonne, you got everybody. That is just absolutely fantastic. What's the purple for? Who can tell me what's that for?
It signifies that you've been vaccinated.
Yeah.
Exactly. In third world countries, and then we just did a little bit, and this is washable even though it did say permanent, they dip all the children, all those millions of children that Bill gave those numbers, in permanent ink that lasts probably weeks or months. That way, as they come back through and do the second vaccination, they go into these villages and things like that, and they can look at the children and they can see that they have the purple pinky, and so that child has already been vaccinated when they give them. So it was a quick way, you know, they would absolutely know when they see children running around if they've been vaccinated. Again, the plug for Dawn for Pints for Polio tonight. Hopefully, if you don't have anything to do, you'll give your $20. It's going to be great fun, but it's also $20 going to a great cause, and that 20 becomes 60. Awesome. All right, so the last week or so, I've been studying up on world hunger. I did this about 15, 18 years ago. But the neat thing for this, I had to kind of revise a little bit. I've done the soup. When I was talking to Rotary clubs, though, they weren't giving. was trying to think of something that I could give a visual to those clubs to get them to have that heart, that feeling that we have as Rotarians, things that we do. And so I did the soup. Also on the tables, you'll see these water bottles. You probably really don't want to open them if you already have. You can see that they're dirty. There's a lot of people in this world that this is the water. This is what it looks like when they go to the river and the water that they get, or they may have a dirty well. This is what it looks like. In 2000, the United Nations got together and they came up with MDGs. As Rotarians, we love our acronyms, don't we? We like our numbers. So I was like, oh, MDGs, Millennium Development Goals. And they set these for goals to leave a better world for the future generations by 2030. In 2012, the United Nations had a conference on sustainable development, and they revised or replaced the MDGs for the SDGs. And the SDGs, some of y'all have those, Sustainable Development Goals. And these were replaced to help build a more sustainable, safer, and prosperous planet for all of us. Not only those that have the hunger, they don't have clean water. As I'm talking, John's going to be doing something for me, so pay attention to John. There's John. If you noticed on here, the number 6 Sustainable Development Goal is for clean water, because we don't want this for our children to be drinking, and sanitation. Clean, safe water is among our basic human needs for survival. We don't, as Americans, we do not think twice about going to turn on the water. We don't think twice. We go to our refrigerators, we get our water bottles, we grab them. How many water bottles are we putting into our environment? You know, that is becoming a problem. It's because we do not think twice about water. If our power goes out, and if you happen to have a well and you need that power for that well, because the rest of us that might be on the city, you might still have water, we get all upset. We might not have water for a day or two. Can you imagine your whole life? You don't know where you're going to get clean water from. Every year, 2.1 billion people lack access to clean, safe water. That wasn't a million, that was a billion. 3.4 million, mostly children, die from water-related diseases. The sad thing is most of this can be prevented. Where a community improves its water supply, it improves the health of the community. It also decreases the number of deaths of water-related diseases. Every single day, 800 children die. That's 2 children a minute. I'd like you to pause, and I'd like you to look who's standing in this room. That many children. When I started talking about clean, safe water, we lost that many children. Hunger. Thanks. You always sit down, please. The number 2 Sustainable Development Goal is for zero hunger by 2030. The United Nations, and most of my research was done with the United Nations UNICEF, getting these numbers. We all know that the Rotary International has representatives that sit on the United Nations. The United Nations set October 16th, this is every single year for quite a few years, as World Food Day, in honor of the founding in 1945 of FAO. Not FAO Schwartz, the toy company, but do you know what the answer is? I'm going to put him on the spot. FAO. Food and Agricultural Organization. This day is set aside every year to bring awareness to ending world hunger, food insecurity, and all forms of malnutrition. Hunger is the world's greatest solvable problem. All of these things, it's so sad, it goes to my heart. We can solve this, we can do this. The world produces enough food for everyone, even more than enough food. We have 1.3 billion tons of food that's wasted or lost. 815 million people do not have enough food to eat every single day. This is about 10% of our world every single day. They don't have enough to eat. 50% of those people are in countries that are ridden with conflict. Those of us that have been in Rotary for a long time, newer Rotarians, one of our things for Rotary is world peace and understanding. There's a quote by Dr. Norman Ernest Borlaug. He is known as the father of the Green Revolution. You can't build a peaceful world on empty stomachs and human misery. You can't do it. 17 million children are born undernourished due to the mother's lack of malnutrition before or during her pregnancy. 3.1 million children die each year due to undernutrition, starvation. This is about 8,500 children a day. 5 children a minute. Buzz Aldrin, astronaut, famous quote by him. I saw it a lot when I was doing my research. If we can conquer space, we can conquer childhood hunger. We can do it. I'd like you to look around the room in the few minutes that I was talking. These are children that died in our world these few moments. Because if you want to complain about the soup that was only out here and we didn't have the chicken that we complain about a lot, you know, and we all get the rubber chicken and everything we go to, those children would have loved to have had that soup. And thankfully, again, to this club, Sanford, our area, Rise Against Hunger, we all, and new Rotarians, if you haven't had the opportunity, we package these meals. Last year, 33,000. Hopefully this year, 25, 26, 27,000. Again, this club, Sanford Club, our area, just amazing Rotarians in this area. Again, generously give from your heart. So, because we do that and we send out and we do so many meals, some of these children here, they didn't die. Because we as Rotarians, we stood up. We Rotarians like to make a difference. Because we Rotarians know how blessed we are and need to help those in other places. On your tables, you'll see kisses and hugs. If those children were here right now, these children that are standing, they would give you kisses and hugs. They would thank you from the bottom of their heart and their stomach. They would be thanking you. Thank you that they delivered these meals to my village and that I have something to eat. Thank you. You can be seated. Thank you. Thank you, John. So again, I did this for foundation, for clubs that they were not giving. And the flip side for today, again, I wanted to thank you. I wanted to give you kisses and hugs from those children that did live in those few minutes because they had this food. Also on your table, you don't have the bigger one, it's up here, Rotary's Legacy, Rotary's Promise. We give to the foundation $100 sustaining, Paul Harris Fellow $1,000 a year. There's lots of ways that you can leave your legacy. I live by a quote that I found when I was in college by Theodore Roosevelt. What a man does for himself lives within him. What he does for his community lives long after he's gone. And that would be his legacy. So for Rotarians giving, please continue to give, become a multiple Paul Harris Fellow, Polio Plus, give so that we can eradicate polio. You can do giving your legacy in a lot of ways. I shortened it up because I knew we were running behind. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, Patrick?
So if we were on a mission trip for Haiti and Brazil, just got getting ready to finish wrap up, how can we take these packages with us? So, because we go, I mean, we travel to a village and we were on Amazon River for 6 hours and that kind of thing. How would we be able to?
Grab one of the packages, Patrick. On the back is the Rise Against Hunger Raleigh number. I was able to go in and pick these up. They basically kind of charge like the 30 cents per meal, but they're always looking to reach out. It may be that they might be able to, you might connect up, because a lot of it is with Rotary and Rotary clubs from one area to another. You can, they can even ship them.
Yeah, just to let club know that what we've done in the past. David and I went down to Mexico a few years ago and visited one of the schools, and we did 5 or 6 elementary schools and provided clean water to those kids. Each one of those schools was about 300 kids, maybe 400. We've also provided water tanks and sanitation in Nigeria, and then most recently we did rural water projects in Mexico that amounted to 800,000. So in total, this club is responsible for about $1 million worth of water projects.
And that's awesome, and again, that's why I know I've only been in this club a little over a year, but the things that I've heard that this club has done, continues to do, is just, again, awesome, and every child that we've helped, again, kisses and hugs.
And Debbie, I'll say a couple of things for the new members in here. Welcome to Rotary. It's pretty cool to see you guys growing. But I read on the RI website the other day, you guys have joined an excellent organization. For the 12th consecutive year, we've been ranked 4-star by Charity Navigator. And that's only 1% of organizations have achieved that, only 1%, and Rotary Foundation is one of those. So you can be rest assured that what we do and the projects that we go for locally, domestically, internationally, they go for Rise Against Hunger, water projects, ending polio, Alzheimer's, things like that. So that's one main reason I joined Rotary as opposed to other civic organizations, is because Charity Navigator rates us extremely high. And that's something to be proud of. So
It is. Thanks, Don. That is great. And those that have been in Rotary for a long time, pushing right at 25 years. When I first got into Rotary, basically we spoke about 100% of what we call for the foundation doing good went to those projects. When the world financial crisis happened, of course nobody could be prepared for that. Rotary has had to use just a small percentage, because we talked about up to 3 years. So when you give Rotary, that money sits there, and Rotary uses the interest for 3 years, and so they're being very mindful of our dollars so that they're not using our dollars for doing good for administrative. We're right now at just a couple percent, which is what Don is talking about, Charity Navigator. We are always at the top, in the top 10, if not the top #1 charity. And that's why, because we have done a really great job. And also part of that, the legacy part that I talked about is what we call the permanent fund. And Rotary is, they had set a goal 12 years ago, I think, on $1 billion. We're already at the $1 billion, because again, Rotarians, big old hearts. And so now they're just going to that next $1 billion. And what they're doing is they're using that interest so that, our dues don't have to be sky high, and we can still do all of the things that we do, because that money goes all to doing good. So thanks, Don. That's really awesome. Appreciate that. Any other questions? Thank you kindly. Nobody get mad at Steve for the soup. It's all me. My fault.
That was good.
Debbie, thank you for that presentation. I think a lot of the stats that you gave us are obviously disturbing. but it's information that we need to have, it's numbers we need to hear. And when we're blessed with such a level of affluence in this country, it's imperative for us to hear those, that there are others that have nowhere near what we have. And when we have influential leaders like we have in Rotary, in this community, and across our country and across the world, we're the folks that need to act. And when we talk about membership of this club and other clubs, it's not for us to feel good about, oh, we've got more people coming in, you know, we've got 5 people, we've got 10 people. Without members, we can't continue to make the strides that we've made so far and tackle these upcoming challenges. So that's why membership is so critical to who we are. Membership isn't about feeling good, it's about making a difference in the world like this. So Debbie, thank you for that. Anything else before we close, guys? Hopefully you got full today. Soup, bread. I ate a lot of bread. That bread was good. But
isn't that nice? We have that fortune of having 2 soups, having bread, the salad bar.
Exactly.
And there's children and people that are wondering if they're going to get 1 meal for the day, and that would be just literally that bowl of soup.
Yeah. It definitely hits home, and it brings a new perspective of those that have done the meal packing before about what that actually looks like. So hopefully when we do our project, we'll have an even better turnout this year, because one of our goals is, if y'all will remember, we want every member involved in the service project throughout the year. So let's continue to strive for that. Okay, I guess we don't have a 50-50 today. So Debbie, would you be willing to lead us in the 4-way test and the pledge?
Absolutely. The 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? They're all concerned. Will build better friendships.
Will be beneficial to all concerned. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.